Hi everyone. Today we're going to factor trinomial of this form, x squared plus bx plus c. First, let us review multiplying two binomials. In here I have x plus m times x plus n. So we know how to multiply this. I'm going to get the x from the first group and multiply to all the terms of the other binomial. So x times x is x squared, x times n is positive nx. The next is the m to be multiplied to the other members of the other group. So m times x is mx, m times n is mn. And then I can see that the two terms in the middle has a common factor of x. So I put the common factor x outside, so the other factor will be n plus m. Or since our last term here is mn, I want to interchange the n and the m, and there will be no issue on that. So here it is now m plus n multiplied by the quantity x. So when we multiply this x plus m and the x plus n, this is our answer. So for today's topic, that we're going to factor trinomial in the form x squared plus bx plus c, and to compare with our review multiplication on top, I can say that the b here is equal to that m plus n, and the c, or the constant, is equal to that product m times n. And then later, what we want to get are factors of this form, x plus m times x plus n. Now, we will learn how to factor a trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c. We are going to follow some steps. Step 1. Write the factors as two binomials with first terms x, just like this. Step 2. We are going to find two numbers m and n. And this m and n will be those terms that we're going to write on the blanks in the step 1. But there are two conditions for this m and n. This is the first condition. If we multiply the m and the n, it should be equal to the c. And this c is the constant of our trinomial. The next condition is, if we add the m and n, so that is m plus n, it must be equal to b. And this b here is the coefficient of the x in the middle term of the trinomial. So once we comply the step 2, we will go now to step 3. We will use m and n as the last terms of the factors. So it will be like this now, x plus m multiplied by x plus n. And step 4, we are going to check our answers. We will check by multiplying the factors, and it must come back to its original problem or the original trinomial. Let us have some examples. Example 1. Factor the trinomial x squared plus 13x plus 30. Step 1 says, let us write the factors as two binomials with first terms x. So I wrote like this, the x plus blank and then x plus blank. In step 2, let us find two numbers m and n such that the product of these two numbers is equal to c and the sum of these two numbers is equal to b. Here is the list of factors of 30. The first is 1 and 30. The second is 2 and 15. Third, 3 and 10. Fourth, 5 and 6. Now on this column, we are going to add the factors. 1 plus 30 is 31. 2 plus 15 is 17. 3 plus 10 is 13. 5 plus 6 equals 11. As we can see here, this 13 here matches our B. It means to say the factors 3 and 10 is what we want for the m and n. So step 3, we are going to use the m and n as the last terms of the factors. So from here, the 3 and 10, we're going to put on the blanks. So it's now x plus 3 times x plus 10. Step 4 says, just to check our answer, we're going to multiply these two binomials. So x times x will give me x squared. X times 10 will be 10x. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 10 is 30. In the middle terms, the 10x and the 3x, we can combine them. And the final answer is x squared plus 13x plus 30. And we can see that the product here is the same with our original trinomial on top. So what does it mean? It only means our answer here is correct. And this is our final answer. Let us have example 2. Factor x squared minus 11x plus 24. Step 1, let us write the factors as two binomials with first terms x. So x plus blank multiplied by x plus a blank. Step 2, let us now find the two numbers m and n. We are looking for the factors of 24, and here are the factors. 1 and 24, negative 1 and negative 24, 2 and 12, negative 2 and negative 12, 3 and 8, negative 3 and negative 8, 4 and 6, negative 4 and negative 6. And then on this column, we are going to add the factors. 1 plus 24 is 25. Negative 1 plus negative 24 is negative 25. 2 plus 12 is 14. Negative 2 plus negative 12 is negative 14. 3 plus 8 is 11. Negative 3 plus negative 8 is negative 11. 4 plus 6 is 10. Negative 4 plus negative 6 is negative 10. We can see now that this negative 11 as the sum matches our value of b. So it means to say we're going to use the m and n as the last terms of the factors. That is the step 3. This negative 3 and negative 8 are our m and n respectively. So we're going to put these two values on the blanks. So this is now our binomials. X minus 3 times x minus 8. In step 4, if our answer is correct, by multiplying these two binomials. So we have now x times x is x squared. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. Then negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Then negative 3 times negative 8 is positive 24. And then the middle terms, we can see that they are like terms that we can combine. So we have now the final answer, x squared minus 11x plus 24. And our answer here is the same with our original trinomial on top. It means the x minus 3 times x minus 8, and that is our final answer. Let us have example 3. Factor the trinomial x squared minus 2x minus 35. Step 1. Write the factors as two binomials with first terms x. So here it is, x plus blank times x plus blank. And then let us find two numbers, m and n. So we're going to find the factors of this negative 35. So the factors of negative 35 are on this column. First pair is 1 times negative 35. Second is negative 1 times 35. Third, 5 times negative 7. Fourth, negative 5 times 7. On this column, we're going to add the factors. 1 plus negative 35 is negative 34. Negative 1 plus 35 is 34. 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2. Negative 5 plus 7 equals 2. But we're looking for a sum that is equal to the b, and here it is, the negative 2. It means to say, we're going to the step 3 to use the m and n, these two terms here, this pair of factors, to be placed on the blanks. So here it is now, we have the x plus 5 times x minus 7. So step 4, we will check our answer if correct by multiplying these two factors. And we will hope that the answer will be same with our trinomial here. So multiplying the x and the x, that is x squared, x times negative 7 is negative 7x. Then 5 times x is positive 5x. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. So we're going to combine the two terms in the middle, the negative 7x and the 5x. We will have a negative 2x. So our final answer here is x squared minus 2x minus 35. And we can see that the answer here is the same with our original trinomial on top. It means to say the binomials x plus 5 times x minus 7 are correct and considered to be our final answer. Let us have example 4. Let us factor x squared minus 6x plus 10. Step 1, I'm going to put here the x plus blank and then times x plus blank. Step 2, let us find two numbers m and n, the factors of 10, such that later on we will add them to get a value of b. So on this column, the factors of 10 are 1 and 10, negative 1 and negative 10, 2 and 5, negative 2 and negative 5. In this column, we're going to add each pair of factors. 1 plus 10 is 11. Negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. 2 plus 5 is 7. Negative 2 plus negative 5 equals negative 7. As we can see here, there are no pair of factors of 10 to get a sum of negative 6. In this case, we will say that this trinomial is non-factorable, and this will be our answer here. Let us put some notes here. We know that we are factoring a trinomial that is equal to two binomials, and that is x plus m times x plus n. If c is positive, the c here is the constant of our trinomial. It means to say the m and n. The m and n are here, should have the same sign. It can be both positive or both negative. Look at our previous examples 1 and 2. In example 1, the constant is 30 and positive. So look at our factors here. The 3 and 10 are both positive. Also, the sign of the b will tell us that the signs of the m and n should be both positive. Let's have example 2. The constant is positive 24. So look at our m and n. They have the same signs and both negative. Considering the sign of the b here, since it is negative, it gives us idea that these two binomials in the m and n should have both negative also. Now, if c is negative, the m and n should have different signs. Look at our example 3. Our constant here is negative 35. The values of m and n have different signs. One is positive, the other is negative. And there is another clause here. The bigger number between m and n should have same sign with b. So the numbers 5 and 7, 7 is bigger, and because the sign of the b is negative, the 7 as the bigger number will have the negative sign also. I hope you learned something from this video. See you again next time. Hi everyone. Today we're going to study factoring, and we're going to factor a trinomial of this form: ax squared plus bx plus c. How do we factor a trinomial of this form? We are going to follow some steps. Step 1 is factor any greatest common factor, or GCF. Step 2, find the product AC. This AC means the A, the coefficient of x squared, and the C, the constant of the trinomial. Step 3, we're going to find two numbers, m and n. such that if we multiply the m and n, this is equal to the AC. This AC coming from step 2. Also, if we add the m and n, we can see it is m plus n. It must be equal to the b. And this b is the coefficient of the x in the middle term of the trinomial. Step 4. Split the middle term using m and n. It means to say the ax squared plus bx plus c will become like this: ax squared plus mx plus nx plus c. Step 5. We're going to factor by grouping. Let us have example 1. Let us factor out 10x squared minus 55x plus 70. Step 1 says, let us factor any greatest common factor. For this trinomial, we can see that there is a common factor of 5. So we can factor out that number 5. So what remains in the first term will be 2x squared. For the second term, now becomes negative 11x. And the third term, 70, will become 14. Step 2. Let us find the product AC. After removing the greatest common factor, we have now our new trinomial here to be 2x squared minus 11x plus 14. Now taking the AC, it means the a, which is the coefficient of x squared, it is 2, and the c is the constant 14. Now multiplying the a and c, 2 times 14 equals 28. In step 3, we're going to find two numbers that when we multiply these two numbers m and n, it must be equal to 28. But if we add the m and n, it must be equal to the b. And this b is the coefficient of the middle term of the trinomial. After considering many pairs of factors, it was found that the negative 4 and the negative 7, if we multiply, will be equal to 28. Also, if we add the negative 4 and the negative 7, it is equal to negative 11. So the 28 here is the product AC, and the negative 11 is the B. So step 4, we're going to split the middle term using m and n. It means to say, we're going to rewrite this trinomial, but the middle term, we must split it using this m and n here. So as you see now, in this line, the 5 is copied. The 2x squared is copied down here. The negative 11x is now split into negative 4x and negative 7x. And then plus the constant 14. And in step 5, we're going to factor by grouping. So we have here 4 terms. We're going to group the first 2 and also the last 2. So the 2x squared minus 4x is now in one group. The negative 7x plus 14 is in another group. And using that factor by grouping, we are going to factor out a common factor or greatest common factor for these two terms. Also, we will do the same on the next group. So in here we can see that 2x is the GCF. So we put the 2x outside. What remains inside for this term will be x, and for the negative 4x, what remains is the negative 2. If we want to check if our factoring are correct, we can multiply 2x times x. We will get back the 2x squared, and then 2x times negative 2, we will get the negative 4x back. Now for the second group, we want this x to be positive, so we're going to factor out a negative 7. So when we factor out the negative 7, what remains here will be positive x. And for the positive 14, what remains is a negative 2. Again, just to check if these factors are correct, we can multiply and see if we can get the original binomial back. So the negative 7 times x is negative 7x, and negative 7 times the negative 2 is positive 14. So we are sure that these factors are correct. And now we have two big groups here, and we can see that there is a common factor for these two big groups, and that common is the binomial x minus 2. So we can factor that x minus 2 out. It will be like this. First we copy the number 5. Now this common x minus 2 we'll put in here, and on the second factor we will collect the remaining terms after removing the common factor. So 2x is copied here, and then the negative 7. So for our answer, the factors are 5 and x minus 2 and 2x minus 7. So this is our final answer. Let us have example 2. Factor out 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. Step 1 says, let us factor any GCF. But there is no GCF here. So we will proceed with step 2. We're going to find the product AC. The coefficient of x squared is the a, and that is 6. The constant 2, that is the c, we will multiply here. 6 times 2 equals 12. And then step 3, we're going to find two numbers, and these two numbers are factors of 12. And at the same time, if we add the two numbers, it must be equal to b, and that b is that number 7. After considering many pairs of factors, we found that 3 times 4 equals 12, and that is the AC, and 3 plus 4 equals 7, and that is the B. So now we're going to split this middle term using the m and n. So the 3 and the 4 are our m and n respectively. So writing this again, 6x squared is here. Instead of writing 7x, we will now write 3x plus 4x, and then plus the constant 2. Step 5, we are now to factor by grouping. We're going to group the first two terms and then group the last two terms. We're going to factor out the GCF for these two terms. We can see that 3x is common. So what remains in the first term, 6x squared is 2x, and then plus 1. We can check if our factors are correct. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 1 is positive 3x. For the second group, the common factor is 2. So we remove the number 2 outside. And what remains with the 4x is 2x. And then for the 2, it becomes 1. Again, let us check ourselves if the factors are correct. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 1 is positive 2. So we are sure that these factors are correct. Now, we have two big groups here. And there is a common in these two big groups. And the common is that binomial 2x plus 1. There is also 2x plus 1 here. So we're going to factor out the 2x plus 1. It is now in here. And for the second factor, it is simply the remaining terms for each of the big groups. So the 3x is copied here and then plus the 2. So our factors, 2x plus 1 times the 3x plus 2. I hope you learned something from this video. See you again next time.